Today, we're going to dive into a bold new chapter in computing. Google and Qualcomm's plan to bring Android to PCs, merging mobile intelligence and desktop power. What's going on here, John?
Yeah, so this could what we're going to talk about right now could fundamentally change the PC market. Google's officially bringing Android to laptops and desktops. And Qualcomm CEO has said he's already seen it running and it's incredible. So this is Android ecosystem like Apple's ecosystem. This is what they're doing. So let's dive into what they're actually doing because this really matters. So they're not abandoning Chrome OS entirely. And they're not just putting Android on a laptop. Instead, what they're doing, they're kind of rebaselining the technology. So think of it like renovating a house. So the Chrome OS experience you see and interact with stays largely the same, but the foundation underneath gets completely rebuilt using Android's underlying technology. So why does that matter? So because Android has years of development in AI integration, a massive app ecosystem with millions of developers already building for it, and runs on ARM processors, which are way more power efficient than the traditional x86 chips from Intel and AMD. So by merging the two, Google gets the best of both worlds. They get the laptop productivity features that made Chromebooks successful in schools and businesses, plus the massive Android app library and AI capabilities. So think of it like iOS, macOS, all kind of similar underlying. And now it's all going to be kind of one cohesive ecosystem, right? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Android has struggled against the Apple iPhone MacBook integration. Yeah. And this is kind of their answer to that because they don't cross your Windows over here, or your Linux or your Mac or what have you, and then your Google, and the apps don't cross like they should. They don't connect like they should. And now with something like this, we're going to see that move forward a fair bit. I think Chrome OS was interesting, but because it was its own separate thing, it was kind of doomed to fail.
Yeah, I agree.
The hardware they came out looked interesting. I had a Chrome OS. I have one around here somewhere, but like a low-end Samsung one. You could do a bunch of stuff with it, but you couldn't do everything. And with developers not wanting to learn multiple operating systems, multiple development platforms, it never really got off the ground from developers building apps and stuff for it. So moving to an Android-based operating system where you have, a well-developed developer ecosystem that can now move either apps or develop directly for these things, really open up new market. Is this for me? Probably not.
Yeah, and Google's openly admitting they're trying to replicate Apple's ecosystem advantage, right? Here's the thing is Google is succeeding where Windows failed. Windows has a great operating system, but they failed with their mobile ecosystem. Windows had an opportunity, but they failed their opportunity. And now Google has that option to make everything work seamlessly together. And I hope they do it right.
Well, I think they realize that AI is the new search. And that means they need to get their AI on as many devices as possible. And if they can start doing the PC market as well, this is the way to go. Yeah. Because, their whole money stream comes from search. So as search starts to get eaten up by AI, they really need to have their AI play in place so that anytime you're using an Android device, you're using Gemini AI and you're getting served up answers from Google that Google's getting paid for, and Google gets to keep their money train going.
Yeah. So my question to you is, should Microsoft be afraid?
Yes and no. I mean, Microsoft should be afraid that they are no longer seen in what I would call a dominant light. I talk to many Windows users and they look at my MacBook with envy. Okay. And I think it's just because, they feel like Windows is bloated, it's slow, it's all these things. And I like to say the grass is always greener on the other side. So people, ooh, I wouldn't have those, like they have their mind set on this versus that. And so, when you talk about keeping people together and their ecosystem together, Windows isn't top of mind. So I think people are willing to try something else. So if they can come in with a decent price point, with a decent working machine, I think they'll get a lot of adoption, because a lot of people don't care if it's Windows anymore, where I would say 10 years ago, you wanted Windows for your work machine for 99% of the population, unless you're doing graphic art or other things. There's very specific things. You wanted Windows.
Yeah.
Now I think that's changed. That's changed so much that's why I think they should be afraid, and they're not keeping up. I feel they're falling behind.
They're making stupid decisions like this Windows 10 stuff and all that other stuff, and the limitations with Windows 11.
So we'll see. They're obviously knowing that AI is everything, and they're putting their recall features in AI and everything that people don't.
They're forcing features that people hate too.
Yeah. And so we'll have to see how it works out. But the forcing AI, because AI is the new search, and that's a whole piece of the pie that people want. I want the search pie. I want the money related to search, so everybody's going after it. And AI is bigger because it's not just search, it's all these other things, and I want that pie too. Again, we've talked about this before. Most of the AI companies aren't profitable, so we're going to see over time, and we're starting to see more and more of the AI bubble is going to burst, because the investment has been too much. People are not going to get their money back, all of them. So there's going to be some disruption over time, because you're not going to get your return on investment for Grok and for OpenAI and for Anthropic and for Perplexity and for Cohere and for things have to get together. Then you have all these development companies, Cursor, Lovable, Bolt, that, you got our $200 a month package or this or that. The AI companies want that money. So they're, as you can see, Claude with Claude Code and OpenAI with their Codex and a few other things, they're going after that. And I said this at a couple of my meetups a while ago, and people looked at me, and a lot of people agreed as soon as I said it. Said, don't count on those being around forever, because the big boys are going after that market, because they need that money to power their AI stuff. And it's interesting to see, what's going to shake out here. But I think this is a good thing, because I think more competition is better especially when it's an existing ecosystem that allows you to immediately have a base of apps and users out there that understand, can code, and can use the platform.
I agree. Yeah, I think if Windows wants to survive, obviously they have the enterprise market with their servers and all that sort of stuff, but I think Linux and Unix are slowly creeping in there too. But I know that most companies nowadays are Windows, but Mac again is creeping up on that as well with a lot of features. So I think Microsoft really needs to go back to the fundamentals and rework and come up with a brand new operating system if they want to compete and succeed.
Yeah, and side note, they need to get the bloat, the adware, the bloat, all the extra shit that's in there. Sorry for swearing, but I used to run a version of Windows called Windows Black. Do you remember that? Did you ever use that?
I remember that, yeah.
I loved it. It stripped out all the crap, anything that, all the bloatware, and it was fast and it ran great. And, it wasn't an official version. But I figured if I had my key, it didn't really matter and all that stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But it was great. And they need to get back to the basics with cut the bloatware out, give people what they want, and start really focusing on performance.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Are you interested in the Android ecosystem? Will you be jumping on this? This is a fast-moving shift that could redefine what a computer is. So stay tuned to see what happens next and how this could all reshape things. And let us know if you're waiting for a Android PC happening in 2026. So what do you got going on, John?
Yeah, well, just helping companies secure government funding. So, it's a great time to reach out if you have any questions. How about you, Craig?
Well, there's a lot going on over at flowgrammer.ca. We're doing automation and AI and business processes. We do events, but we're really ramping our business up. And check out all the things we're doing over there. If you're interested in business automation, we've got community events where we're teaching everyone. We do an online, and we're about to launch our new resource center, flowgrammers.ca, which might be out when some of these are out. Other than that, check out for everything we do. Our monthly startup investor drinks, where you get to pitch to the crowd, business owners, and investors, and have real conversations and make real connections. So for all those things, check out TorontoStarts.com. And for everything else, anything else, John, before we say goodbye?
No, just reach out to me on LinkedIn, John Irwin, if you want.
John Irwin on LinkedIn. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.